A very beautiful, beautiful morning to everyone watching out there. It's good to be here on a Monday morning. It's the first working day of the week, and I can tell you that yes, the year is going to an end. It is the 7th day of the second month of the year 2022, and I tell you, excited that yes, the year is going to an end, is moving on fast, and I hope that you are also moving on with all your all that you have laid down to do this year, because before you know what is happening, we already will be in the middle of the year, and once we get to the middle of the year is ended. So let's start to make hay while the sun is shining. My name this morning is Yinka Kenny. Tomisi cannot be here due to some circumstances that is beyond our own and our control. This happens at times. Well, tomorrow I believe that Tomisi is going to be here with us, and this morning I'm going to be looking into the papers with our regular man, always here on Monday mornings with us, Mr. Or what do I call you now? You are aspiring doctor. Olusegun Okunade is a chartered accountant and a public affairs analyst. Is the vice chairman of ICANN Ikeja district. Good morning.
Good morning, Yinka Kenny. My pleasure to be here this morning, and you're looking.
Okay, you can say that again.
Beautiful way to start the week.
Yeah, right. I need all of that this Monday morning, maybe this week, so that I can have. I talked about we making hay while the sun is shining. I'm sure a lot of people have said so many things to do this year. January I will do this, February I will do this. Even I, as a person, something I particularly said I was going to do before the end of February. February is here. What about you?
This is just 7th day of the week. In as much as we have some of those aspirations, we need to also tread with caution, putting everything in the hands of God. There are times and there is season for everything, and God knows the best time. So when you don't get it at the time you need to, and you put in every of your effort, just take calm.
Yes.
Don't let it be too desperate in getting some of those goals, because some of those goals too are not set based on reality. But we just feel that if this is happening, I should be able to, and that might not definitely be the God's plans for every individual, so that we will not join the clique of the people I'm talking about, desperados, all in the name of seeking for what is not. But I believe the appointed time and the appropriate timing, God never disappoints his own, and he will get that which we desire to each and every one of us.
Thank you very much. Good way to motivate you and I this morning. We go straight into the papers. The Guardian will always come from the business angle. The caption this morning: Nigeria's domain name fails to gain traction, attracts 184,341 users. It's so minimal. 184,341 users. Okay, the rider, we have the riders saying businesses worry about inconsistent government policies. .ng is 0.000504353 out of 365.5 million world's registered CCTLD. That's is really way down. You cannot imagine throughout the whole world we have only 184,341 users. INEC banks, e-commerce firms, MDAs still adopt .com, .net.org. Country loses millions of dollars to foreign adoption. Is that not? Is that really not something to worry about?
Nothing to worry about, because if you must lead, you lead by example, and you ask yourself the questions: the agencies that are responsible, what are they using? If you believe in something, you definitely preach it, act it, and people will key into it with you. I cannot tell you to start doing something and I'm doing a different thing. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. It must be do what I do. And like you can read in one of the writings.
Leading by example.
Yeah, let me say most, not majority, most of the agencies of the government that we should have, patronizing.ng and the likes, how many of them are actually utilizing it? You've heard some are using .net, .org, .com, and the likes. And it takes us to we believing in ourselves, in as much as we know that our policies somersaulting and inconsistency on the part of the government. I was reading this morning, maybe you get to the headers too, of the failure on the part of NIMC, which has put a stall to several activities in the last 6 days. It's part of the problem that we have. If you observe what happens on the international scene, when issues like this happen, it takes within 24 hours. We all know what happened with Facebook, WhatsApp when it was down. We are not saying such mishap cannot happen, or there must be contingency plan to make sure that some of these things get back on track within 24 hours. And like we read, maybe one of the others you go through it. NIMC is key strategy. As we speak, people cannot confirm NIN. People cannot do certain things that is expected of them. So what do you expect people to do? So if you to go back to, this is why we don't rely on anything in Nigeria, because you discover that we have a smooth starting. When the process starts, people start, looking for a way to cut it short. So I think the government should have this serious determination of making sure that the people doing it out there are really not top-notch, although all these things rely on infrastructure. You cannot compare those out there who doesn't know what they call generator. Power is strategic, and you might discover that the fluctuation of supply has its own impact even on some of the equipment that is being used. So you discover that if the infrastructure is not in place, the basic thing that is expected of some of these things, people needs to have that buy-in, have that confidence that if we make use of this, there is not going to be an issue.
Honestly.
And
talking about buy-in, if I can just deviate a bit now, I was at Ibadan yesterday. I was in transit, I've been in transit since Saturday, Sunday. So I went to Abeokuta, from Abeokuta to Ibadan, and I decided within myself that I was going to do the train thing. And as good as it was, as nice as the experience was, talking about consistency, my fear was immediately that, can we maintain this? Can we, when the white men, when they decide to leave their hands, off it, you went onto Google, you Googled, the time of the train schedule, and you got there, and really train 4 p.m. was 4 p.m., 12 p.m. was 12 p.m. When the Chinese men, when they leave, will we still have, that? Will we still have the confidence? Talking about, having confidence in, our own now. Will it still remain and all of that? I think that's where you are bringing us to this morning.
It's a function of each and every one of us. Most of the time, the white-collared people that we have so much confidence in, how much of this stuff they do in their own life, are people they get to the other side and they perform excellently well.
Exactly.
Because one thing is on ground: system. What will lack is system. You see, even if you are disciplined and there is no system, it becomes a problem. Exactly. And that's why you see them succeed, because they are disciplined. At the same time, they have a system that works. There is no idea of saying you want to have this shortcut and think, well, it's none of my business. There's passion with what they do. If Nigeria can adopt that idea and take things with all seriousness, we have everything. The personnel is there, like I always say. The policies are fantastic as far as the country is concerned. The technology are coming in gradually for us to use. The only thing we keep lacking of all this channel is process. Once the process is not there, and what the process is, what we still call system. It's just semantic. Process, system. Put that in the right perspective, you discover that Nigeria will be better off than where we are today. But if you don't get the policies, the process right, then we are still far from it.
You know, someone said over the weekend, I was on a different show, anchoring a different show, and the person said something that caught my attention. He said, get Nigeria working and Africa is working.
Even the whole world will bow to it. I can give you the, you know, I'm passionate about this country. I have every opportunity to be heard by now, but I keep telling you that if you can get the country working, the whole Africa was, you know, it will converge under Nigeria. And that's why you see average European country, they don't joke with us. They don't toy with us. We have the population, we have the intellect, we have the people, we have everything you need to talk about. The only thing we lack is the system or the process, whichever we want to do it. And as soon as we get that on the right track, I think we will be better off for it.
All right. We have some other stories in the Guardian, on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Hanese Indigo IPN back power shift to southeast in 2023. 500 northerners killed in 4 weeks. CNG claims, and how to build Africa's healthcare defense system. That's coming. That's by additional. Okay. We if you want to see how to build Africa, maybe we should even start from Nigeria first. Healthcare defense system, because I really do not want to talk about healthcare this morning, because on the unfortunate thing we are seeing in other parts of Nigeria other than Lagos, the Lassa fever killing a lot of people, killing even the doctors, killing the consultants, and you still want to wonder what really is the problem. All of these years we have not gotten above Lassa fever. And let's talk about Nigeria first before we go to Africa. Anyway, I would not drop the Guardian newspaper this morning without talking about the picture story in front of the Guardian newspaper this morning. The Senegalese. All right, congratulations to them. You want to say something about that? Let's talk about sports this morning.
Yeah, I congratulate the Senegalese for this gallant victory. When the match ended at 120 minutes, you know, after 90 minutes they went into the extra time. It's what I watched. I give it to the Senegal. If Egypt has won that match, then I think we would have done the reverse of what happened between Nigeria and Egypt. Senegal was all out. They played the match. They gave it all it takes. You know, considering that this is and for me, I think I was a bit sentimental. Egypt has won this thing for like 7 times. Now only when they do the thing.
And to say that this is the first time the Senegalese are,
so at least let's give them.
That's why they were struggling for the cup.
They have to, because they've won several. They are the best African country as we speak. And how can you be the best African country without having to your credit the African Nation Cup? And I think they did all they need to do, and God crowned it with that outstanding success. And that's what we need to say. If you're determined and you put in every of your best, you will definitely get whatever you want. It's not that Egypt is they are underdog. You know how they started.
No, but for me, the game was, for me, both of them were winners, because when you get to that stage that you have to declare the winner through penalty, you know, kicks and all of that, then it's a game of luck.
No, it's not game of luck. The better side, in fact, the better Mani won. Don't let me say it, because you know by the time they get to Liverpool, it's beyond this African Cup of Nations.
Exactly.
Mani and this guy from Egypt
in the same club.
They played in the same club.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the analysis yesterday. Somebody needs to be, you know, pampered and like, sorry, and somebody needs to say,
hey, man,
I'm your boss. Just get this thing right. So I'm sure that's what Mani will be telling the Egyptian guy. That guy, calm down. At least you should give me the respect that I'm your boss. But it's one of those things.
Right.
Just that the country was unable to.
Well, it's a game at the end of the day, and we cannot all win. Someone must win.
And Senegal took the lead.
All right, congratulations to Senegal. All right, we go straight to Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigerian Tribune is coming with the lead story. 2023 presidency plot against Atiku thickens. Atiku autumn exchange words over Fulani terror claim. Do we want to talk about politics this morning? The exchange of words between Atiku and autumn is becoming so thick and so loud, even to the deaf.
The issue is Atiku is coming out, and I think we are used to these shenanigans of our leaders doing what is not when election is coming on board. Where has he been in the last few years? What has he been saying about the killing that we have in the country?
But he's been talking. Atiku has been talking.
He's been talking. It's less of talking, less of action, more of action. Well, you should be able to do certain things. So now we are seeing them dishing out money here and there.
But he is not. He is not at the end of affairs. He doesn't have.
You don't need to be at the end of affairs before your impact is being felt. Now they are there at the end of affairs when they keep visiting all the areas where they need to. Have been years back. Has he visited Borno for anything? No. Why are you now going about? There are certain things that will know you with and say, okay, this person has the interest of the people at hand. Not when I need you, I knock at your door. If you need me, if I've discovered that I should have enjoyed maybe one or two things, even if it is advice from you, and you don't get to me, now you need me and you're knocking at my door, I will treat you the way I want. So for me, I don't blame Autumn. He knows what he has been facing with the security in the state. And nobody has actually come around to his rescue. So he's free to say whatever he wants to say. But what we want to challenge our leaders on is that don't wait till election time that will start showing sympathy to people. What has happened between 2019 and now that we're talking about is enormous. A majority of the people are just saying, no, I didn't want to talk. So why are you now talking a year to the election? Or because you need us? No, I think people are thinking deep on the way to go about some of these things. And I think there will be shocker in 2023.
Talking about people talking about unscrupulous elements trying to disorganize the society. We have a report also. There's a local report. I just think I want to take a break from the papers this morning to talk about it. Since you already mentioned people, trying to cause some sort of disorderliness, trying to cause some sort of disorganization, around the society. We cannot but talk about the report that we have from Igondo area of Lagos. The Onimaba families in Ikotun Igondo local government development area are peace-loving people and law-abiding citizens in Lagos State. But the peace enjoyed by the family is being trampled upon by some unscrupulous individuals. That's why the head of the Onimaba family, Alhaji Honorable Ige, is calling on the Lagos State governor to please come to their aid to forestall peace in Igondo area of Lagos State. I don't know if my director already has that video. Please roll it on if you do have now.
The Beku Onimaba Chieftaincy family in Ikotun Igondo LCDA are peace-loving and law-abiding citizens in Igondo area of Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. But the peace enjoyed by the Beku Onimaba Chieftaincy family in Igondo land is being trampled upon by some unscrupulous individuals. That is why the head of the Beku Onimaba Chieftaincy family, Alhaji Honorable Alani Ganui Ige, the former minority leader, Lagos State House of Assembly, is calling on the Lagos State governor to come to their aid in Igondo land and restore peace in order to avoid chaos.
I want to graciously appeal to our Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, the God-sent Governor Sanwo-Olu, to please, in order to avert crisis within the Igondo communities, they should respect the rule of law. We are not a banana republic. If anybody has any grievances, it should approach the appropriate quarters.
Welcome back. I know that definitely the governor of Lagos State is a peace-loving man, and he is somebody that listens to the cries of the people. And definitely, I am sure, I want to believe that he will move into action, and there will be peace in that area. Going on in the Nigerian Tribune, we have other stories this morning. Africa's $546 billion public debt higher than total annual government revenue. That's it's something to we talked about that over and over and over and over again. And despite the level of the level at which we are accumulating debts, we keep talking about still going to get more and more debt. And it baffles me too when I remember the Minister of Finance saying that we are borrowing responsibly. I begin to wonder what is responsible about all of this anymore. And the annual, now we have a report that the annual revenue is far above our debts. How can an economy survive, with this?
You see, the level of borrowing is really not a problem to me. If you look at it from the
even at this level, we are going to.
The only problem why we're having this issue is because the funds we have borrowed, we have not asked for accountability of what those borrowing are meant for. If there is justification for some of those borrowing, and we are getting, dividend on what you have invested those funds with.
That's what we're saying.
To be able to repay back, it would have been a very good thing. But most of the time, we get those funds, we divert it to other areas where we don't need it, and it becomes a burden on generation to come. That is the issue. And that's why we have said, can we hold our leaders accountable? You borrowed money, you say you're using it. Do you know the number of funds that we have sent into the refinery, repairs of the moribund refineries? It's from the borrowing that we have. Have we hold them accountable to say, okay, these funds that you borrowed, how much of it have you used in actually fixing what you're, and now that we claim you have fixed certain things, what is the output from what you have done? These are areas. Borrowing is not a crime. People borrow to survive, even in businesses.
At this
but
junction,
the problem is that we have been borrowing and nobody is monitoring the things that are happening with it, and everybody just seems to be having a free fall. Now that our revenue that cannot even cover to pay the interest of the loan, not to talk of the principal. Well, it's alarming. But borrowing is not a problem, but because our leaders are really not accountable, and not just this administration, even the ones before now, majority of the problem is what these ones too are inheriting. And they just want to mark a register to make sure that we have certain infrastructure. So they go out borrowing and borrowing and say, okay, if you're able to get this infrastructure in place over years, we should be able to.
And they will definitely pass it on to whichever government is coming in.
You heard the president told you the other time, government is continuum.
It's continuum. All right. OAU students' death, that's Timothy's death, a sad one. Disease family hires Falana. Okay, they're still on it. We hope that not even the disease family alone, Nigerians, everybody is agitating. Everybody wants to see the outcome of what actually went down, and getting justice for this young man.
Yeah, I think Femi Falana coming in. Now I'm interested in the case too, because the person in question is my member. He's a member of my institute. The institute is interested in this. I want to get to the bottom of it so that at least it will serve as a deterrent to and open our eyes. After that incident, everybody started giving, start communicating. Even the baddest of the baddest. When you're going somewhere, you have your club that you say, oh boy, this is where I am in case of anything.
You can say that again.
You don't want to gamble your life.
You can say that again. When I lodged into the hotel at Abeokuta, I had to share my location with my friend, and she said to me, I wanted to ask for it. I said, before you ask her, I said,
you definitely did. And it is the outcome of this happening in Ife that is now prompting everyone, irrespective
to be
of
security
conscious. So everywhere you are going, not just alone, we have the facility on our phones. Share your location,
Exactly.
at least to people that you have the confidence with that. In case of anything, this thing goes down, know how you promptly say this is where I am.
Exactly.
At a particular
And I would also go further to tell people that when you are not inside your own convenience, your own comfort, you're probably outside in an hotel or something, try to communicate with someone close to you as often as you can, so that at the point that something is going down,
once there is communication gap, you prompt the other person.
Honestly, that was what I did all through while I traveled over the weekend.
In fact, that was what exposed this to, because the wife and the husband were actually coming. I said it's usual of him to wake up in the morning, put a call through, ask of the children, and possibly pray, and you're not getting that. So that already, so there must be a pattern.
Yes.
Either with the family or your friend that knows that this is what we know him to be, and now that he's out of this place, what is really happening.
And we must give it to, I don't know how true the story is, but I heard over the weekend that the lawyer, Femi Falana, is doing this for free.
Of course, he's always been taking that.
Honestly, he has done a lot of pro bono cases, and he's all out for the masses. I think he's somebody that we need to give it to him. We need many more like him. He makes us to remember Gani Fawehinmi.
They are best of the same thing.
Yes,
so we are not disappointed.
I just pray. Yes, I just pray we get a lot of them coming up, taking up pro bono cases. So that
you talk of the Sorosoke generation, because these are the off the mic.
That's what I'm saying.
So let's talk of
that's what I'm talking about. We're looking, and those that will stick to their gun and will not go into politics or politicking, because I don't want to begin to mention names on this table now. We had some set of young lawyers then, but because of they have gone into politics, somehow we feel that they are compromised. Of course, it's just, but I hope that we'll have many more of them, because we had Gani, we had the late G.O.K. Ajayi also. We had a lot of them then. So the Sorosoke generations, please come up. Let your lawyers come up. We're having very young sons now. Young sons in their early 40s. It's amazing. So we want to see money is good, money is important, but we want to see you pick up a lot of pro bono cases.
Service to humanity is always being compensated.
Exactly.
In a very high way.
Exactly. All right, let me just run through this. PenCom confirms 48 billion naira pension assets transferred by PFAs in second quarter 2021. And Lassa fever, I talked about Lassa fever when we started. 40 died, 4 health workers infected in January, coming from NCDC. I think we should do more in our health sector. I think they are being neglected, and we are exporting them. if I can use that word.
Too much of brain drain. Because the things out there, it's really not conducive for people. So they just have to move out. Every day, tranche of doctors are moving out, even to a greener pasture. So they say. How green the other area is, well, I can't say.
Well, it seems to be very green for the medical practitioners.
Okay.
You say so. But we need to begin to, do something about our healthcare system. In fact, everything you talk about, ASU talk about, I don't know when will we get it, right, until we have maybe a policy that will be adhered to, that will limit our lawmakers. Probably, you don't go outside for medical facilities. You don't take your children, to private institutions. Maybe something, just looking at something that will work.
That is the drastic change that made it happen in the Asia. You cannot be leading us. You cannot set up a school, Yinka, and put your son
in another school. Exactly.
I will not patronize that, because you don't even believe in yourself. So our leaders should stop. All the kids are out of the country studying, and you want the educational sector to grow. Any little thing, all our leaders travel out for medical stuff, and you want the health sector to function. It's not going to work. How much of the local food do they eat? The answer is a lot of imported food, more than the local. So until we have leaders who are willing, had that determination to say, I will patronize the local stuff, that's when we start getting it right.
Okay, housewife stabs husband's nephew to death in Ogun. Very sad. Terrible things keeps happening. You wonder, how did we get here?
Frustration.
Vehicle importers lament payment of storage charges over VREG collapse. Delta oil vessel explosion. 3 crew members rescued alive. 1 dead body found. And Trust Fund. 3 years after approval, federal government fails to release 53 billion naira for vehicle financing scheme. Automotive policy lies dormant for 8 years as high traffic slow down vehicle sales. My people will say, "Ebi npanu olose nkiri." How do we say that now? That the one is hungry and the one selling soap is hawking. We have not bought food. How are we going to buy soap?
To wash the plates that there is no.
When we have not washed our stomach. So that's then we have ASU here talking to the House of Reps, drop students loan bills. I move straight to the Punch newspaper this morning. Punch is coming with the list story of the NIMC portal breakdown that you talked about when we started the show. It says NIMC portal breaks down. Banks, telcos, passport issuers suffer. Downtime enters 6th day. MTN, Glo, Airtel order suspend SIM replacement stroke accusation. And immigration may rebook passport applicants. Immigration may rebook passport applicants' appointments as glitch stores NIN verification. Telcos lose millions. Customers' verification affected. NIMC apologizes as engineers battle crisis.
Yinka, this call for so much worries, and you heard at the earlier stage when I was talking, the confidence that the citizen have in anything being managed by us. Our disaster recovery process is really not it at all. We've seen instances where problems like this happen within organization, and you're able to respond within max 48 hours because you know how strategic your service is to other areas. Imagine the few numbers, the ones we have on the header are just few numbers that are hooked to the service of NIMC. Imagine people that needs their passport and they already have a date in the last 6 days to be there, and you are postponing those days, and that passport is entrenched in somebody traveling. Possibly you would have 6 days ago, he's talking about like last week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Possibly if he has done that period, by now he should be out of the country to do maybe 1 or 2 businesses. The business is suffering. It's not that you have any other alternative. So when you look at services that are strategic, that are key, the disaster recovery process should be top notch, that we should be able to resolve whatever problem around that particular thing within maximum 48 hours. Ordinarily, within 24 hours, such should be resolved. Because we've seen it. How much data are we talking about in terms of NIMC? And you look at it with Facebook and WhatsApp. You can't compare the numbers. But there was a problem. It was identified. The problem is we are apologizing. Have we even identified the problem? We should come out with timeline to even say, okay, we expect this to come up at so period. But when you don't even have the lights behind the tunnel to give a clue that this will come to an end at a particular time, it becomes so worrisome. So these are part of the things we feel whenever we are bringing any application into use, we should consider the disaster recovery process in such a way that where there are failures, we can quickly resort to something to make the businesses to go on the way it is. You can see the people that are involved, the banks, the telcos, the passport office. These are key strategic stakeholders, even in the economy of the nation.
It's just so sad. We cannot but just keep hoping that this will be rectified as soon as possible. Let me just run through. Above the nameplate, we have external reserves slide to 4 months low at $39.98 billion. Federal government school feeding suffers setback. People's wait in vain for vendors. I was paid for only 3 months in 2021, says contractor. Federal government making payments for school feeding. Ministry insists. I've heard this has been on for some time. The woman has been lamenting, and federal government kept on saying that they've been making payments, but she's been saying that she has not been paid.
Everybody will come out with their evidence.
Words against words. Okay, let her bring out the evidence. Let federal government bring out the evidence of payment, and she will also bring out the evidence of receipts of payments and all whatnot. All right, I go quickly to the Nation newspaper this morning. The latest story is ASU. ASU begins mobilization for another strike in varsities. It's unfortunate that this is becoming to be a norm.
I think the only language these government, our leaders understand is strike. But we should always consider the implication of some of these things on the student, on the economy, and everything. Whatever ASU is requesting for now, I think we should nip it at the bud so that it will not get deeper, that will affect the student. Anything to bring the student back home with what we are seeing all around, ritualists and all those things,
should be avoided.
All
right, above the nameplate, we have Oni's defection to APGA unsettles PDP. That's Fayose is seeking unity now. Okay, there's football also there. I think that's all we can take from the papers this morning. It's been so beautiful, wonderful having you, Sheson Okwade, on the show this morning.
My pleasure always, Yinka, and the best of the way to all our viewers. And let's keep hope alive with the fact that it will definitely get better one day.
We hope it's going to get better. I wanted to talk about the traffic I went through this morning. I had to park my car. I came in with Okada all the way. Honestly, even the Okada man knew he carried somebody this morning. But I just sincerely pray that someday Nigeria, we will get it right. Nigeria will work. I share the same opinion with Sheson this morning. I believe in Nigeria. I'm a patriotic Nigeria, and I believe in one Nigeria. It has been good to be your host this morning. My name is Yinka Kenny. Bumper Breakfast continues tomorrow. Thank you.